Now that you've successfully exported your full YouTube video, it's time to go into these different sequences where we have our clips and learn how to resize them to make them look good. Now, in this example, we're keeping things very basic. We're just, going full screen, making the subject, in the center, and then we'll move on to subtitling and more complicated branding stuff later on in this course. But I invite you to get creative. Like, take what you learn in this lesson and, move the clips around. Sometimes you'll see, split screens where one guest is on top, one is on the bottom. Open up YouTube, search podcast shorts, and start going through all of these different podcasts to get some inspiration. But you're going to learn how to resize all your clips for social in this lesson. All right, so now that we have locked in color for the entire clip and we've exported the first YouTube video, we now have one video that's going to contribute to our views. Now, we're not going to be covering distribution or posting of that video, but that is the first video. Now we want to take a look into these different sequences that we've created, and I was able to pull, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clips, okay, from this podcast. All right. Those are going to be posted on Instagram story, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Those same 10 clips, I copied and pasted into our square sequence as well as our square, slightly vertical 1080 by 1350 sequence. Okay. And we also have our backup here in case you need to start over at any point in time. You can by using this. Okay. So let's get started first by resizing all of our videos for these different social media platforms. Okay. We're going to start with our story sequence, okay? And what we're going to need to do is get familiar with how to resize clips. So if you click on any video, you will see a effects control panel pop up on the left-hand side of the screen. If you don't see that, you can come to Windows and make sure that effects controls is highlighted, all right? After that, you'll be able to change the scale, position, and rotation to, size all these clips as you wish. Now, since they're all on tripods, we should only have to size, the first one, and then we can copy and paste the effects and new positions over to all the other clips. So for this first clip, let's see what it looks like. We can see what it looks like if we scale it in, if we scale it out, and we want to figure out kind of using and changing these scale and position motion editor where we want this clip to be. You can select a value. You can click inside and like press 100, for example, or you can simply click, hold, and drag the selection and it will change for you. All right. You can also change the rotation if you'd like to. But these tripods seem to be pretty straight, so we're good there. So go ahead and change one camera angle. If you have just one, you're done. But I'm going to go ahead and hide this layer and then look to, edit and change all these different camera angles so that they fit inside the way that I want them to for these story videos. Okay. All right, that looks good. I'm going to hide this layer, and this wide camera angle you can use if you want to, but it's a lot harder for people to see, and the other camera angles look so much better because they're up close. So I'm going to be actually deleting all of the camera angle 1 or the wide camera angles. And I just want to use these up close shots for these viral TikTok, Instagram videos. Okay. Now, since I've already created a size for our mail host, I can just go ahead, highlight that clip. I can copy the motion and I can paste it over to the other clips. Now I might want to or need to change things slightly. That's completely fine. I'm going to change that there, and then I can just go ahead, select all these clips and paste that size down there. All right. Now for this camera angle, I could do the same exact thing. I can copy it. After selecting it, I'm just going to copy the entire motion. So I click on the motion, edit copy, or control copy, and then everything on that layer I can just go ahead and paste. Now I'm going to come in and change the position and scale for my final camera angle here, and then take that motion and select all the clips and paste it. Now, unlike the color, when I copied the color and pasted it to other camera angles, I needed to make sure that I didn't select the clip that already had color. When you're copying motion, you can select all the clips, because if you paste a motion multiple times on the same clip, it's not going to change anything. But if you paste the same color additions on the same clip over and over again, it's going to continue making changes to the color. So hopefully that makes sense. And then what I want to do is, go through and just watch these clips, and we can watch them together so you guys can see exactly which clips I selected, and just make sure that we don't see any of the wide camera angle, and that we re-edit these clips slightly so that they work well for TikTok Reels. All right, so let's watch and make any additional edits.
Power training is looking at force times velocity. And when we're talking about force, we're talking about maximal muscle recruitment or maximal energy production in the shortest amount of time. And velocity is adding the speed with a directional component.
So after watching it, I do just want to move kind of slightly over so we can see the mic a little more. Let's go on to the next one.
Bottom line is I see a lot of power exercises showing up in some basic programming or being suggested through social media, or even in like these templated programs I'm see coming across in people's laps that people are sharing with me. Like, here's my program. I'm like, why is that in there like that? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
All right, that one's not as good, but still might do okay if we edit it in a cool way. Let's keep watching.
The best lifters in the world, power lifters, again, powerlifting being defined by the sport of powerlifting, which is getting on the platform, deadlift, squat, or bench press. They're probably the best ones are going to add some speed training or some velocity or power training.
All right, so we want to move this clip over a little bit. All right, move it down. So we're just fine tuning all of these edits.
Training into their routine. But I don't think most people really understand the difference between strength training and power training, and that powerlifting actually looks a lot more like a feat of strength than it does a feat of power.
1000%.
Okay. At the end, we have this host say something, so we could, bring this camera angle back over and make another edit there to add that camera angle in.
Than it does a feat of power.
1000%.
Right.
1000%.
Okay, cool. On to the next.
If you are an average individual who has a strength training or weight training program, I think there are definitely times that it may be appropriate to put in some power training to help with cycling and getting the results and the gains that you're looking for. But it's got to be applied appropriately. And it's not something that you want to do on an everyday type of basis.
So that's important.
It's all about the application and what it is you're doing and applying it.
All right, so I want to just bring in some other faces into this clip so we can watch it again here after some edits.
I think there are definitely times that it may be appropriate to put in some power training to help with cycling and getting the results and the gains that you're looking for.
Okay, we can move this camera angle over just a little bit. Just all little fine tuning stuff that you guys are going to want to do in your edits.
But it's got to be applied appropriately. And it's not something that you want to do on an everyday type of basis.
So that's important.
It's all about the application and what it is you're doing and applying it.
Okay, perfect. That is our fourth clip. Here you can see that I copy and pasted just a video that I had edited from the previous YouTube video, the full video, and there was an aspect of it that included camera angle 1, or that wide camera angle. So I can just go ahead and, increase this video over everything. Let's go ahead and watch.
You're probably focused on one of these things. That's going to be either on one side of the triangle. One of the most popular ones and most well understood is the aesthetics piece. I want to look better, right? I want to lose a little body fat, build a little bit of muscle, lean up, look better naked, that kind of thing. The other side of the triangle, one of the other sides of the triangle might be the performance piece. So if you are an athlete, if you're active and you need to be more reactive, as Cece was explaining, or obviously you're
All right, so here is a good example of where we can just tighten the clip up a little bit. So it's going to be one thing to create all of the size edits to make sure that the faces or the subjects look good. It's another to actually focus on the content. And we're covering both of those things in this section. All right, so I'm going to actually make an edit and edit out a large portion of this clip just to make it a little tighter. The main thing with edits is, does it still work? Does it still work, and is it shorter, conveying the same message? So let's start from the top, and I'll show you how I'm going to edit this.
You're probably focused on one of these things. That's going to be either on one side of the triangle. One of the most popular ones and most well understood is the aesthetics piece. I want to look better, right? I want to lose a little body fat, build a little bit of muscle, lean up, look better naked, that kind of thing. The other side of the triangle, one of the other sides of the triangle might be the performance piece. So if you are an athlete.
Boom. So I'm going to make an edit there. The other side of the triangle is the performance piece. And now I'm going to be listening for when there would be a good time to actually come back. So this section that we're going to listen to right now is actually what I want to delete.
If you're active and you need to be more reactive, as Cece was explaining, or obviously if you're a professional athlete, the power training starts to come into play more there. Or if you just have a goal, again, like I really want to be ready for there.
Maybe it's here.
Or if you just have a goal, again, like I really want to be ready for ski season this year, then you might be going through a performance training phase or performance training program. And then the last piece is that longevity piece.
All right, so I'm going to delete that little section as well. Let you guys hear what I'm going to delete.
Then you might be going through a performance training phase.
All right, so he says performance training phase, and then he kind of repeats himself, or performance training program. I'm just going to delete that.
Or performance training program.
All right, so I'm going to delete this guy. I'm going to delete this guy. I'm going to click in these spaces and click backspace. And now I have a 56-second clip that's trimmed down to a 41-second clip. Let's listen to the end of it.
Phase. And then the last piece is that longevity piece, more of the health and wellness piece, just staying generally fit, staying generally healthy, and making sure you're kind of ready for and prepared to be resilient and do the things that you want to do when you want to do them.
We could keep that in, or we could end it here. Generally fit and generally healthy. All right, let's just do that. Make it shorter and sweeter. The shorter the clips, the better. The higher the view duration of clips on social media, the more they're going to get pushed out. So if you can keep the clips short by saying the same thing, you have a higher chance of increasing view duration because people need to watch less of the video. So if we do make any edits at any point in time, I want to come over and show you guys. We're going to run over to the effects panel. All right, making sure we're under the effects panel, and search for cross. All right, you'll see this effect, audio effect, constant power. We're going to drop that in to any of the transitions, and then we're going to highlight the end, either or the beginning of the first clip or the end of the transition, and just bring that in. It's going to make the audio cuts sound a lot smoother. All right, so let's watch this one last time and then move on.
Probably focused on one of these things. And that's going to be either on one side of the triangle. One of the most popular ones and most well understood is the aesthetics piece. I want to look better, right? I want to lose a little body fat, build a little bit of muscle, lean up, look better naked, that kind of thing. The other side of the triangle, one of the other sides of the triangle might be the performance piece. Or if you just have a goal, again, like I really want to be ready for ski season this year, then you might be going through a performance training phase. And then the last piece is that longevity piece, more of the health and wellness piece, just staying generally fit, staying generally healthy.
All right, cool. So I'm going to let you guys go. Now go ahead. Those are 5 examples. I'm going to finish these. Again, the focus is which camera angles are going to look the best, sizing those camera angles so that they work well with stories, and then additionally making any edits, like cutting out the spaces in between words, cutting out words that you don't want in there, cutting out entire sentences even. It's very common on TikTok to even cut out the spaces in between the words. Okay, so you guys can get as creative with this as you want. Like for example here, we might not even cut out the word, but we could cut out this little space between the words so the words jump from one to the next. And viewers kind of really have to put together more, they have to pay attention faster, and the clip's a lot faster paced. I've had a lot of success on TikTok with clips like that for a variety of clients that have gone viral. So take everything in this video, rewatch it if you'd like to, and edit your clips with all of those things in mind. Then we're going to come back and we're going to subtitle our videos and go over how to do that.